morning. It is Saturday morning. The weekend has arrived. I'm Wesh 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully get your day started off on the right note. This morning, still with the rough surf, the gusty winds, we're tracking this coastal storm system, and as it gradually evolves and works away from us, our weather will improve. But that's the good news. The bad news is that we've got these gusty winds and these um, obvious, very rough beach conditions. So if your beach plans were to head toward the beach, unfortunately, this is kind of the idea of where we're at right now. Let me take you over to Volusia County, see what's doing on our weather stem camera there. That was Marineland in Flagler County. This is the weather stem camera at Daytona Beach over at Beach Safety. And again, there's not a ton of beach. I mean, you could go walk, right along the seawall, but otherwise it's gusty winds. It's very heavy surf. And notice even there on the top of the screen, we've got some low clouds that are kind of moving around the area. So it's not the most beautiful of days. Let's take a look at the winds around town. And right now, sustained winds 15 nearly 20 miles an hour in New Smyrna Beach. So it's not exactly the most beautiful of days, right? Current wind gusts, look at this, gusting to 32 in Palm Coast, gusting to 26 in Daytona Beach, and even gusting to 21 in Leesburg. Those are recent gusts. We look at the peak wind gusts since midnight, and we've seen wind gusts 35 to nearly 40 miles an hour. So it's been a little rough out there, right? Yeah. All right. Let's head over to our Tower Cam network. This is going from weather stem to Tower Cam, and we see some low clouds there. That's downtown Orlando. Let's go to our Daytona Beach shot, which is going to be at our Wesh 2 studios, not beachside, but back at our studios off of Ridgewood there. But of course, it's not working again. Of course, I should have known that. All right, New Smyrna Beach, let's check in on you. See what's doing. And yeah, the beach walkers are out there. There's a little bit of available beach, just not a ton of available beach, right? All right, let's take a look at our first warning live radar, see what's doing. And what we're seeing here is these little areas of rain. Let me put a loop on this, and you kind of see showers sneaking through. There's DeLand with a little bit of light rainfall. There's Oak Hill with a little bit of rainfall. Deltona with a little bit of rainfall. Nothing significant, but we are watching some of these showers sneaking on through, right? It's all on that kind of northerly wind offshore, kind of same idea. Planner for today, this is where we go, okay? Essentially, we work our way through gradual clearing skies. 75 our 9 a.m. temperature, 80 degrees our lunchtime temperature, and 80 degrees our 3 p.m. temperature. We're not going to be moving a ton in terms of the thermometer today. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be one of those days that gets blasted hot. As a matter of fact, this is kind of the start almost of a fall-like weather pattern. And I say that because when you think about it, we've got ourselves this coastal low. I've got it on the bottom left corner of your screen, right? We can talk a little bit more about it here. Let's take the satellite and radar and just kind of get an idea. So there's that coastal low. It's what has been bringing us the not so beautiful weather. Bruce says, I don't think my comments are working very well. I see him. This is what's been bringing us the not so beautiful weather. But as it pulls away from us, our weather will improve dramatically, as a matter of fact. Here's the overall weather synopsis. Okay, so there's the coastal low, and watch how, as it pulls away, we usher in drier air. Now, this coastal low is going to prove to be a nasty one for our friends in the mid-Atlantic, but for us, it's that drier air. So for our weekend, here's where we're at, okay? High temperatures in the low 80s, like we can handle that. Bright sunshine today, a few of these quick passing showers. This is the start of fall. I mean, this is that first taste of fall in town. This is finally getting us there, right? Current temperatures are very comfortable, I would add. We're not into, chilly air, but it feels very nice. Here's a live look inside right now, okay? 71 in Orlando. Where did we get down to real fast? Stand by. I need to check. Hit that button. More local. Nope, wrong button. Hold on. I'm doing this off screen. Orlando International. So we 71.1 looks like it was the low. Okay. All right. So 71.1 looks like it was the low temperature. 71, 72, give or take. So this was not the coldest morning. We've gotten to 71 before. But look north and west of town. 69 in Leesburg, 66 degrees in Ocala. That looks great. Nick says, live report, raining in DeLand. Very good, my friend. Thank you. Y'all, this feels great. Look at Titusville and Melbourne. Even with that gusty breeze, 71 in Melbourne, 71 degrees in Palm Bay. Just updated. 72 in Melbourne. Yeah, I mean, as the sun angle is getting higher, obviously these temperatures are going to be climbing. So that makes sense. Matt says, can't watch on Facebook. It's a 3-second loop. That must be a Facebook thing. It's not. It's working fine on my end, so I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, we are looking fantastic. And as a matter of fact, the good stuff is just beginning. Look at these temperatures, okay? Ocala, you'll be down to 62 tomorrow morning, 61 Monday morning, 60 on Tuesday morning. Now, I'll be with you on West 2 New Sunrise starting tomorrow. And I tell y'all, I don't hype the weather when it comes to like serious stuff, hurricanes, tornadoes, all that. But when it comes to fall weather, I am going to be the hyper's hype. It's my favorite season, and you're stuck with me. I mean, if you're here watching with me, you're stuck with me. So, alas, unfortunately, sorry. So let's talk about tomorrow's morning low temperatures, okay? Here's where we start off tomorrow morning. When you see me tomorrow morning on West 2 New Sunrise, I will be sitting on cloud 9 talking about this. Jeannie Rowan says, yay, all caps. Certainly not mad about that. Yeah. Can you talk about the nor'easter, Maureen says? We will. I've got to start with the hype of our local weather. Frank says, Facebook was a loop for me too, but I closed it, reopened it, and was fine. Yeah, that must have been just a Facebook issue. I don't know. Anyway, look how pretty that is, you guys. 62 degrees tomorrow morning in Ocala, 66 in Orlando. That looks amazing. 67 degrees in Palm Coast. That looks nice. So nice. All right, so 7-day forecast then. Let's just go over this, right? We start off with beautiful weather today, a couple of coastal showers. Highs will only make it into the lower 80s. Tomorrow morning, 60s. Yup. That'll look nice. 83 our high. Stretch of gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Oh man, is that nice. Now, we do end up with a sprinkle opportunity here on Friday. Not a significant chance of rain, but it's something that's worth at least showing. All right. Now, that said, all of this is because of a cold front. It's because of that coastal storm system. And we've talked about this a bit. But remember, the dry season in Central Florida typically starts mid-October, okay? And essentially, that's when the daily storms end and when the cold fronts start. We know for a fact that the daily storms have stopped. We are watching a cold front moving through our area, kind of helping to tweak things around. What's so funny, today is the 11th. Last year, on today's date, the rainy season ended, the dry season began. Now, I'm not, the National Weather Service is the ones that kind of declare these changes. So there's that. I will say though, like kind of has that feel to it. Now, obviously, we're not talking about, it may have even started a couple of days ago, as silly as it sounds, just because of the patterns shifting. And I'll be curious when the National Weather Service declares that to be the case. But at any rate, we're on our way. Bottom line, we've had a lot of moisture, so it probably hasn't actually started yet. You know my point. Like maybe today, tomorrow, this is when it actually happens. So this is good stuff. Yeah, this is good stuff. Is this cooler air cooling the water down at all? I mean, it will. It will. Did Milton have a hand in that last year? Yeah. Well, think about it. As it moved away, it drug that cooler, drier air down. Same idea. So yeah, it did. And if you want to get feisty, is this the Milton part of the weather pattern from last year? Just recycling one last time? I mean, it's possible. So anyway, yeah. Bruce says, "Yep, my comments aren't working." I see your comments, Mr. Bruce. So they're working, at least on my end. Sounds like Facebook is having some technical issues this morning. So, it is what it is. Yeah. All right. So we are looking good in the neighborhood. Now, that said, it's beautiful because of this coastal low. That does mean that we have some issues along the coast. So, first off, let's talk about through tomorrow morning, saltwater flooding is a potential. We've got coastal flood warnings in effect for North Brevard, Volusia, Flagler, northbound, especially around high tide, etc. So, we know we've got that going for us. We also have wind advisories in effect for Flagler County. We also have high surf advisories in effect for Volusia and Flagler County. So it's kind of messy. It's kind of messy. When we look at the overall setup, this says tomorrow. It's really for today. I'll change it. Stand by. We got to do this the right way. Today. Perfect. This is great. We updated it. Perfect. All right. So now it's correct. Couple of showers, flooding, like right at the beach, right? The saltwater flooding. Not concerned about lightning, and then certainly the rough surface there. All right. So questions, comments, concerns about this before we move on and start talking a little bit about the tropics. Questions, comments, concerns about this. Victoria, please stop the rain. We're stopping the rain. Yeah, your wish is my command. Janice, it doesn't take a hurricane to cause flooding in Florida. Well, particularly if we've got high surf and king tide. So there's that. Cheryl's asking what Ron said. What's our rain totals? All right, give me a second. You're going to ask me to dial up some magic. Hold on. All right. So what I can do, you guys are asking. Do that, do that, do that. All right. So what I am doing here is I'm pulling up a data viewer and we'll go historical and we'll just do precipitation. Start date, let's just do this week. Today's the 11th. And we'll do precipitation amounts of 2 inches or greater. All right. So there you go. Precipitation amounts of 2 inches or greater this week. And I'll make the text bigger for us. So there you go. So this week, let's just start. All right. So there you go. There you go. Right. Like you can see some of these numbers. 4 or 5 inches South Brevard looks like around Cocoa Beach. 5 inches, 6.5 inches of public works, 6.5. Look at that on Merritt Island. 10 inches of rain this week at one of our co-op stations on Merritt Island, right? 6 inches. So for now, it looks like Merritt Island's probably the big winner in the rainfall there at 10 inches this week. 8.5. Where are you? Titusville, 7.7. Volusia Fire Station in Oak Hill. Yep. All right. So the peak amount was the 10 inches on Merritt Island. So there you go. There's some of those. Ricardo says, I see my PWS numbers in there. There you go, buddy. Feeds the database. So anyway, yeah, I mean look, weather is a team effort. So we always love when we take your weather information and we're able to get it into the database. So I can finally take the doors and top off my Jeep, Darren says. Yeah, I wouldn't say yet. I mean, there are showers. Clearly, we were looking at the live radar here a second ago. I'll pop it back up. There are still showers showing up. Right. Some light rain moving over towards Sanford, Geneva, right? But yeah, there are showers around, but we're heading in the right direction. We'll just say that. New England is chilly still this morning in not Easter. Oh, and nor'easter is on the way. Yes, yes. So we're going to talk about that nor'easter in just a couple of minutes time, but yeah. Seasonal totals, maybe dial that up tomorrow. Seasonal totals. I can never make y'all happy, can I? It's hot enough in Palm Coast to have the drain off the pool. We hot enough or the water's high enough? Have a pedicure at 1 o'clock, no rain, please. All right, well, let's look at Futurecast. Let's see, Victoria, how that's looking for you, right? So for today, we've got these light passing showers. 11 o'clock starting to dry out. Notice by noon, continuing a bit of a drying stretch. I mean, there will be a few showers this afternoon. It's not going to be a significant rain event, but there will be a few showers. Annie says, too windy to take the doors off my Jeep. Hey, live a little, right? We only ask for the difficult, not the impossible. That's true, Chris. It's not that you're asking for the impossible at all, but there's what I always, it's like Manolfi. Whenever Manolfi would give me a task, he'd be like, all right, let's do, especially at the beginning, he'd be like, all right, we're going to do this. And I'm like, dude, that's a big ask. And he's like, all right, I'll see it in 5 minutes. It's like you guys ask for like, well, we'll get seasonal stuff. Okay. I mean, it's doable. Today is our wine walk in Daytona on Beach Street. My daughter is here and joining me with my cousins. Girl time. Debbie, that sounds great. I mean, a few showers, a few showers. But otherwise, and it looks like, honestly, it looks almost like this afternoon we kind of dial up the opportunity for rain. So maybe today isn't the start of the dry season. Maybe it's tomorrow. Watch Futurecast overnight tonight. All right. Tomorrow morning, gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Look at that. Oh, my Sunday's going to be beautiful. Some clouds at the beach. We'll be okay. We can handle it. 5 o'clock looking good. Maybe a sprinkle or so tomorrow, even though I think that's probably overdoing it. Yeah. So we've got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stretch of weather ahead. Really and truly some nice weather. Really and truly some nice weather. Man, oh man. I love this time of year. Fall is my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite. Without question. Now you put a box over us. Just for low, gosh. I can never. Frank's my big brother. If you're new, Frank's my big brother. I can never make him happy. That's okay. That's just the way it goes. Time for the leaves to turn brown. Well, the leaf peeping is a thing up north already. I mean, we're there. Not we, but they. They're there. They're there, little pal. Yeah, they're there. There are graphics. I don't have them like dialed up, but there are graphics I could pull up that show like the leaf, the, how it's doing. The ghost woman says, "Oh, that's what I'm unloading pumpkins. I guess I'm getting wet." Yeah, I mean, it's a few showers. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Upcoming week, last chance to work on the Florida tan, Cheryl says. We just have to come back. That's all. Just come back. Can we get temps lower than the 80s? 80s is not fall. Hey, we're just finally getting into the 60s. Matt says, leaf peeping. New quote of the day, needs merch. I didn't come up with that. If you remember last year when we had, last year on Coffee Talk, we had, I can't remember if it was AJ or if it was McInerney, but we had a couple of meteorologists from New England, and one of them introduced leaf peeping. I can't remember which one, but one of them introduced the term leaf peeping. Annie Marsh said, just started raining in Daytona. I wonder if the rain today is just so misty that it's not even, oh no, it's showing up on the radar. Look at how like tiny and minuscule it is. It's just popping up. And that's something. Melbourne radar showing it. Our radar showing it. Yeah. So it's like super light stuff. It's just super. And then if you live in like Sanford off of Lake Mary, some light showers sneaking on through. Yeah. So there's some rain. The good news is, even with all this, relatively quiet on the air traffic control network. 15 delays. That's not great, but most flights are coming and going with ease. So at least we've got that going for us, right? Yep. All right. So there's our day. A few showers here or there. We'll go with a 20% coverage. We can do it. Luis says, I say Orlando area will be dry today. I mean, it's cloudy. There are showers, plenty of showers. Listen, the ceiling, cloud ceiling's low. There's a lot of moisture still here. My sources say that Sanford is at 900. So look at that. IFR Sanford, DeLand, Ocala, Winter Haven. Not going VFR today. Granted, my airplane is not airworthy. It's over at the mechanics shop getting worked on, but I digress. Tara, go Knights, charge on. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at, friends. Questions, comments, concerns? I'd say we're looking good. We'll look at the tropics here in a couple seconds. But locally, look, I'm hyping the snot out of this because locally we've got that cool front in the area. All right. Enough of that. Let's look out to the tropics. Let's see what's doing. Of course, we've got barely tropical storm Jerry. The thing never hit its stride. Pulling away from the Antilles. Forecast over the next couple of days keeps it as a tropical storm, recurves it, brings it down, down, down. Elsewhere in the tropics, wide shot, showing a nice quiet setup. There is one area that may try to get going. Low 30% likelihood of that happening. Not a huge concern. Chris says airplane has problems, not just the annual. No, it's just the annual. I hope it's just the annual. I haven't heard anything more. But my point is it's not airworthy. It has to get its annual done. So I can't go flying. Oh well. Lynn says you being a pilot adds another insight to the weather. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I get to go up and play in it. Yeah, we don't want to see you anyway. So Jerry is almost done. We had Karen. Yeah, Mickey's asking, is Karen dead? Thank goodness. I didn't want to hear those every 10 seconds. Hey, I'd like to see you, man. They. Karen came and went. See, y'all aren't always accurate. Now, this next little thing, if it develops, next name on the list is Lorenzo. I still need to take you up on a ride, Chris, in the truck. So the next name on the list is Lorenzo, should we choose to develop anything. But let's do this. Let's look out to the models and let's see what's ahead. All right. So first off, on the GFS, this is the American GFS model. Starting off with, you've got Jerry on the right, the sloppy low over Florida, pulling away, bringing the Carolinas some nasty weather tomorrow. Nasty weather. Not the greatest. Kelly says, I'm disappointed no one started the Jerry chant. Oh, yeah, for Jerry. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good night. Oh, the mayor. Sidebar, since you brought up Jerry, Jerry Springer's the reference. So Jerry Springer, we all know him as a talk show host. What you may not know is that Jerry Springer was a big deal in Cincinnati, including did you know that he was a journalist prior to all of that stuff for my sister station, WLWT, Channel 5 in Cincinnati. You started something, Kelly. That's correct. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. So Jerry was a part of my company's rich history prior to the whole show. And then, yes, of course, he became the mayor of Cincinnati, Frank. But anyway, all right. So there goes that coastal low. That's going to be a rough one for the Carolinas. We'll look at the model data. Now, what's interesting here is let's go out to the basin view. So there's Jerry. Let me rewind. So you've got Jerry. That's the 1,004 millibar low there. And then you've got the sloppy low over Florida. Let's roll through time here. Sloppy low gets into the Carolinas. Jerry starts to recurve. And then what we end up happening is, see, there's that other area, 1,000 millibar low out in the central Atlantic. There's a couple of things, and it just kind of like becomes this trophy soup, if you will, just like a bunch of non-organized mess. So there's that. Another low rider there. This is going to be Friday, October 17th, 5 p.m. Another low rider. Yeah, I mean that's 10 degrees north latitude. That's gonna go into South America. But look at that, isn't that interesting? Down there, 1,000 millibars, 999 down by the ABCs. Go some sort of the GFS is showing some sort of a tropical thing going into South America. Oh, Gavolt. Okay, all right. And then it gets into the Caribbean, and then it goes over the Dominican Republic and Haiti. What are you doing? Another Fujiwara type deal? Oh, GFS. Okay. Bruce or Brian says this is a weird hurricane season. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go over to the European. I don't know that it's going to be any better, but we can at least look at it. All right. European model. Let's see here. Coastal low. We'll look at the impacts of the coastal low in a little bit. Open Atlantic. I'm more specifically just looking for anything threatening land. So I'm kind of just grazing over just stuff in the open waters. We talked about on the GFS, something there. Now, the Euro shows another piece of energy, but instead of it being at 10 degrees north, it's at like 17, 16 degrees north latitude, which that, you get enough Coriolis force there to get spin, but it doesn't really develop anything. Something weak. All right, Euro AI. Let's look at that. Coastal load. Jerry. Isn't that something? What a hurricane season we've had. Yeah, the Euro AI isn't really getting into much. All right, let's look at ensembles. GFS ensemble. We'll come in a little closer. We'll look at the ensemble members. Just make sure that there's nothing goofy happening around here. Looking around. Some ensemble support for something into the Caribbean, which is what the deterministic model showed around the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, but nothing crazy. Some members showing something, nothing worrisome. European ensembles. There goes the coastal low. There goes Jerry on the right. Bunch of low pressure afterward in the open waters, not a big worry. I'm looking more for like that 20 European. There's some support, nothing crazy. So, all right, listen, I don't see anything scary for now. That's good. Next name on the list is Lorenzo. Let's hope Lorenzo doesn't want to form anytime too soon. If it does, we'll go after him. We'll track him, interrogate the data. Oh, what a weird hurricane season this is. I love it, though. I'm fine with it. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Anything, people? Anything at all? Don't give me a storm for my birthday. You did that already. My goal is to not do that. We could be feisty friends, but I don't I don't control the weather. Scott says season is over pretty much. It ain't over till it's over, dude. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've gotten hit by a hurricane in November. So, I'm not going to call it dead ever. Guy says AC is off and the windows are open. Listen, it's the first opportunity to do that. So we've got to enjoy what we can enjoy. Mickey's asking for the B. Of course you're asking for the BSR because it's not easy for me to do. So just for you, give me seconds and I'll fight the good fight here. All right. All right. Let's see here. All right. So if I do this, George says if the government controlled the weather and now it's closed and major cuts have been made, first time in 10 years a hurricane hasn't happened. I'm really glad you think that. I mean, that's super great for you. So we'll, okay. All right. BSR. Got to Give me a few seconds. If I do that, and I do that, and I do that, I don't have it set up properly right now. So that's the struggle. All right, if we hit that, and then I come over here, I have to like think this through. The inception, the elements of inception here are wicked. All right, if I do that, and then I hit that, and then I hit that. Okay, now we're cooking with grease. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so, oy vey. All right, so, oh, I've got the wrong one up. Oh, I need the frame on. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the BSR. It is a non-traditional forecast method, but it's something that we can use to just kind of get an idea. So right off the bat, showing some sort of a storm system there coming in from the Gulf. That is, stand by. That's the 17th, 18th, 19th. So, about a week out. And we'll have to we'll look back at the GFS to see if that was showing. But like the 17th, 18th, 19th, it's showing some sort of a storm system kind of wanting to come in. And then look at that. That's a big cold front. That to me is a severe weather player right there. That's like the 18th, 19th, 20th. So what's interesting is if you go off of this, then what we end up with is a little piece of energy in the Gulf that gets picked up by a cold front and thrown into the Gulf Coast. I can't promise that that's going to happen, but that is an interesting predicament, we'll say. Again, I can't promise, but that's, if that does want to play out, then that would definitely indicate a very Gulf type pattern. So, all right. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the BSR, see what's doing here. Okay. Through time. There's another big cold front. Now, that one doesn't look like it's going to be as stormy for us, but that's a power cold front. Love that. And that's like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Another little, it'd be like more like the 25th-ish, 26th-ish. That would be a better cold front there. High pressure builds in, keeps us feeling nice. What is today? Today's the 11th. I'm just checking. Y'all, that is a big cold front. That's like the 25th, 26th, 27th. Man, the end of this month looks like cold front city. Oh my gosh, guys. Fall is going to be slapping us, and I love it. Now, what's this little deal here? That's an interesting little setup. Okay, some stuff. Some little storm systems. Today's the 11th, so this is as far out as this is going to go. Huh. Now, the 11th, yeah, that's where we could see something interesting there. Right there. So the 28th, 29th, 30th. So I'm just going to be honest with you, like right off the bat, this looks like leading into Halloween, we could have an interesting scenario here with a little cold front, a little storm system wanting to come in to like the Big Bend or the Panhandle. We'll have to watch that right around Halloween. Cold front. Wow, you guys. Cold front. Now, this may not be a cold front. When is that? That's the 24th. Stand by. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. November 10th, 11th, 12th. That's something we're going to have to watch. November 10th, 11th, 12th. Something cruising from the Gulf into the west coast of Florida. November 10th, 11th, 12th. Let's watch that. All right. Somebody write that down. November 10th, 11th, 12th. Gulf low, question mark. 10th, 11th, 12th. Cold front. Yeah. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking at. November 10th, 11th, 12th. Interesting. Interesting stuff. You know? All right. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Does that sound appropriate? Does that sound acceptable? Cold front city, end of the month. Yes, yes. But then again, like looking at November, there was some things there to watch. So there were some things there. There's that. Yeah, the ghosted woman, November 10th through the 12th. Kelly says, somebody also write down that Eric may ruin my birthday again. It's not my choice. I don't do this by choice. I don't get joy out of this. Guy's asking, how can they go that far out? So it's using a teleconnection technique. So it's just like a ballpark. Things, dates to highlight, nothing more than that. So that's how they being us, that's how we can do it. Is it's just using a teleconnection to eyeball some things. It's looking at pattern recognition and that sort of thing. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Do we have anything? Anything at all? All right. Dry days ahead. Sounds good. Listen, thank you all for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you tomorrow morning on WESH 2 News Sunrise. And of course, Coffee Talk at 8 a.m. Be good. Take care. Bye.